The average lifespan of a human being is 72.27 years. This is 37,985,112 minutes. Though this number does admittedly seem a little bit high, it also doesn't feel like enough at the same time. When we come to terms with the fact that life doesn't last forever, it becomes much more apparent to us just how precious each minute actually is. Well, if this time is so precious, what are we doing wasting it? As a society, we're focusing on all the wrong things. And by doing the 7 things that we're going to talk about today in this video, we're sabotaging our own lives. And we're not taking advantage of the life that we've been given. I'm Rob, and I make content about self-improvement, as well as about gambling addiction recovery, as I'm a recovering compulsive gambler. As a result, I'm very aware of how I've sabotaged my own life up until this point, and I truly hope that after hearing this message, you can avoid doing that to yourself. But before I jump into these 7 things, please hit those like and subscribe buttons so that my message can spread out there and I can help other people to live happier and healthier lives. With that, let's get right into it. The first thing that we're doing to sabotage our own lives is indulging in instant gratification activities. Despite knowing, or at least maybe suspecting, that a lot of our habits are making our lives worse overall, we continue to engage in them for the purposes of instant gratification, or from hiding from our emotions or escaping from feelings of boredom and loneliness. These habits are things we classify as addictions, such as gambling, drinking, drug use, overeating, and more. When we engage in short-term pleasure, we may feel good for a few minutes. Afterwards, the level of chemicals in our brain called dopamine, the chemical responsible for feelings of pleasure, come crashing back down until you have to do it all again to replicate the feeling. However, there's also a level of tolerance that's created, and the next time that you do that bad action, you have to do more of it in order to feel as good as you felt the last time. These short-term pleasures then become something that you're completely physically and emotionally dependent on for feelings of happiness. We need to move towards activities that don't immediately make us feel good, but actually provide us with tangible and positive long-term results. These activities are known as delayed gratification activities and includes things like exercise or healthy eating, as well as proper sleep, which is something that we'll dive deeper into later in this video. The second thing that we're doing to sabotage our own lives is engaging in procrastination. Procrastination is a common form of self-sabotage. We all do it sometimes. We put off important tasks until the last minute, causing unnecessary stress and anxiety. If we're wasting the little bit of life that we have, it can not only be a stressful situation, but really a depressing one, as you realize that the world is passing you by without taking full advantage of your time in that world. I've made a video about beating procrastination by using what's called the 2-minute rule to slowly build habits that will allow you to get used to the idea of showing up and putting the effort in. I'll link it here as it may be something that's helpful to you. The third thing that we're doing to sabotage our own lives is not getting a proper amount of sleep. A lack of sleep can affect our mood, our productivity, and our overall health. Yet, we often stay up late, binge-watching TV shows, or scrolling through social media, sabotaging our own well-being. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman talks about this a lot, and I recommend checking him out on YouTube. And also, sleep is so important to developing our testosterone and keeping our energy up, we can't be productive without it. The fourth way that we're sabotaging our own lives is by not taking time for ourselves. This can be through meditation or through just improving our mental health in general. Mental health is just as important as physical health, yet we often neglect it. We sabotage ourselves by not seeking help when we truly need it. This help could come in the form of an official therapy session, or even a support group if you're suffering from an addiction. However, it also includes things like learning how to meditate, practicing gratitude, or even working on reframing negative thinking through what's called cognitive restructuring exercises. I've made a video about this as well that I'll link down in the description. The fifth thing that we're doing to sabotage ourselves is living within our comfort zones. Taking on challenges and trying new things is essential for personal growth and also for developing ourselves. However, we often sabotage ourselves by avoiding challenges and sticking to what's comfortable, leading to stagnation and missed opportunities in life. Trevor Noah had an awesome quote that I like to think about. Regret is the thing that we should fear the most. Failure is an answer. Rejection is an answer. But regret is an eternal question you will never have the answer to. If we're always living within our comfort zone, we'll not only never grow into the person we want to become, but we could even develop a distaste for the laziness that we've exhibited in our lives. Stepping out of our comfort zone gives us the chance to move forward in our lives and become the people that we were always meant to become. The sixth thing that we're doing to sabotage ourselves is comparing ourselves to others in an incorrect way. Despite popular belief, I actually believe that a certain level of comparison to others can be healthy for you. We can be inspired by someone that we admire and follow the path that they've laid out, or we could try to be better than someone that we admire through an aspect of competition. However, the comparison that I see all too often is the type of comparison that social media has enabled us to make. We constantly compare ourselves to the absolute best version of others that has been carefully curated to tell a specific story that's often partial or not even realistic. We experience feelings of low self-esteem and rattled self-confidence by comparing ourselves to these unrealistic representations, such as the incredibly muscular man or the slim, perfectly shaped woman. Not only are these images either doctored up in some way or very carefully positioned, but they're also just partial truths in themselves. The man who's muscular could be incredibly depressed. The woman who's beautiful may be experiencing loneliness and grief in her life. When you're only looking at other people's best, it becomes easier to feel less than. But you have to remember there's always more than what meets the eye. The seventh way that we're sabotaging our lives is by not living up to or not even having core values. We often sabotage our own happiness by not being true to ourselves. We may conform to societal norms or other people's expectations of what we should be, instead of following our own passions and our desires. If we don't determine what's important to us in our lives, we'll never know how to adjust those actions and build our days to match those values. There was a great quote by Peter Marshall where he said, "If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything." If we aren't sure of where we're going, we'll take any route that comes along in order to move forward. This can create a lot of depression and dissonance when we compare our reality to what we want deep down. So you really need to determine your values and do everything you can in your life to live in accordance with them, or you'll find that life is just passing you by without you actually living it. We all have the ability to shape our reality and to live happy and healthy lives. We only get one life. We have to stop sabotaging it and taking away from our ability to live it fully. Check out these other videos by me, and as always, let's keep getting better together, one day at a time. Thanks for watching.